The second, which has to do with the High Court, which is where we are, is governed by Section 145 of the Criminal Procedure Act. And I think I'm indebted to the fact that when I required all parties, Advocate Baloyi, Advocate Teffo, and Advocate Mshololo, to express in writing around that concept, I'm indebted to the fact that they all complied. I might mention that the involvement of assessors in the High Court is subject to the discretion of the presiding officer. And the involvement of assessors is not something that is done at the whim of everyone. I would almost even say that not even at the whim of the presiding officer. Certain aspects must be at play before assessors get involved. There should be a purpose behind the involvement of assessors, and around this point, all three, Advocate Baloyi, Advocate Teffo, Advocate Mshololo, agree. So that when I requested all of them to write, maybe it is important to mention specifically the input by Advocate Teffo, who indicated that he has become aware, much as his client, accused number 3, has become aware that this is one case where the involvement of assessors is not necessary. Because, like I said, there should be a purpose why we are involving assessors. Assessors must be here. Number one, they assist court with regard to questions of fact, which is what is reflected under Section 145 of the Criminal Procedure Act, number 51 of 1977. In other words, assessors must be there in order to assist court with aspects that the court may not necessarily be au fait with. It might be a speciality, it might be a concept that the court is not very well versed with. I might give an example of cases involving ritual murder, where certain beliefs and certain practices do feature. Cases involving maybe murder where allegations of witchcraft and belief in witchcraft are involved, where various anthropological questions pop up with regard to which a court might need broader assistance beyond the legal training that presiding officers are equipped with. Consequent to all inputs, and specifically consequent to the input by Advocate Teffo, it became necessary that it became apparent that the involvement of assessors in this case is not necessary. And therefore, that being the case, we need to proceed pronto with the proceedings in this case.
We begin episode 2 with Judge MAUMELA responding to the request by accused number 3 through his legal representation, or advocate therefore, and the request for assessors to be included within the Senzo Meyiwa trial. So the situation, of course, you just heard, has been denied. And the reason for that is there is absolutely no reason for assessors to be included because it was day 2. They haven't even called witness number 1, and accused number 3 has requested assessors. So that's why, in my opinion, I feel it was denied. Like, the case hasn't even started. We haven't seen where the deficiencies are. And, I learned something, though. I learned something, a very important point, which is why we have Judge Rata right here. Do you remember the screaming match between Judge Rata and Advocate Ngomezulu? And Ngomezulu saying, I'm going to apply for Section 174. And Judge Rata screaming and saying, well, in order for it to go through, you have to put the application through me. So I wish you the best of luck with that. We hear Judge Maumela say something very quite similar to that, but it is his delivery, of course, how he says it, and it brings about comprehension around applications being brought forth. So in this clip, I learned that, okay, so for them, so here he request for an assessor is, and it's through section 145 in the criminal code, but the application for the assessor must be put before the presiding judge. Now, let me break this down into simpler terms. So if you want to, so let's say you're a teenage daughter and you want to go out with your boyfriend, you must ask your mother if you can go. But if your mother says no, you cannot go out. It's not like you can ask your aunt or you can ask your neighbor. You must ask your mother. And then she will say yes or no. So in this case, Judge Maumela said no to the request for assessors within his courtroom. So it's like asking for a class monitor to be in the courtroom of your own court. And I personally, if I also wouldn't say yes to that. But I think Judge Ratash, one of the defense, should have requested an assessor during Pinky's testimony, because you can just hear that Judge Rata doesn't quite understand how cell phone towers work. And the experts that have shown up in our comment section, those should be assigned the assessors to help the court understand towers, handshake, and everything else. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below regarding that. But let's proceed with episode 2, the good, the bad, the ugly. So far, so good.
I do not know if in placing this on record, there might be something that any of the three, Advocate Baloyi, Advocate Teffo, Advocate Mshololo, feel has to be added. So one would even say, even if Advocate Teffo had proceeded with the request, absent anything else that has not featured as yet from the submissions made and from what we see with regard to all documents available in this matter, the court would not have found its way through to go along with the involvement of assessors. Advocate Baloyi, anything you want to add?
Nothing further, my lord, in light of the fact that practically Advocate Teffo has abandoned the request.
I can't hear you.
I'm just saying, my lord, that in light of the fact that Advocate Teffo is no longer pursuing that request, in fact, he has abandoned it, there's no further submissions from the state side.
Advocate Teffo?
As it pleases the court, my lord. I'm satisfied.
Advocate Mshololo?
Nothing to add, my lord.
Except that, my lord, may I address the court regarding the same accused number 3, as per incident happened on the same date, on the 12th of April.
Yeah.
In this court, yes. Subsequent from your chambers, your lordship, when I have to come down here to give the accused number 3 the feedback in relation to the same request, I found that they've already left. They are in the court cells down the stairs. That's where I went. I found accused number 2, and accused number 2 explained to me that accused number 3 was assaulted by the correctional service officer, for which incident, your lordship, started in the morning of the 12th, when I approached accused number 3 in relation to the same. And this particular correctional service officer, without a name tag, but if there can be a parade, I can identify him. And I realize he's not here today. And the accused number 3 can be able to identify him. So in the morning when I approached accused number 3 to further take this issue of the assessors, he sort of hinder me or obstructed me for the consultation with my client, whereby he told me that I cannot consult in the court. If I need to consult my client, I should come to court, to the prison. My attorney joined me, and we tried to persuade him and show him his conduct is amounting to the violation of my client's constitutional rights in terms of Section 35 of the Constitution of the Republic. Subsection 3, Your Lordship. I'm lacking the relevant weight, but I think bullying is the right weight. He was so bully. He even threatened to assault me as well. His colleague came and tried to intervene. He didn't take anything from even his own colleague when he was trying to make a sense to him that the accused has got all the right to consult with his legal representative. And this honorable court has long time acceded to that request, as the representatives here made such a request, having indicated that it's not easy to consult our client at the correctional centers, since while they were even in custody at the various correctional centers, with the substantial kilometers apart. And the accused number 3 pleaded with him, said, please, this is my lawyer. I need to talk to him. It's very necessary. He said, I don't care. I'm the correctional service officer. I'm guarding you. To hell with your lawyer.
So what is it you want, Advocate Teffo?
Your Lordship?
What is it you want?
Okay. I'm raising this, Your Lordship, because subsequent to this, I want to bring the application for accused number 3 to be removed from Kgosi Mampuru, because if I cannot come to rescue of accused number 3, this trial, when it comes to an end, accused number 3 will be 6 feet under, because he's getting the torture every time in that court. So, that prison. So, I've consulted with him. That's humbly how I request that I bring the formal application whereby there will be a ruling or the order of this honorable court that accused number 3 be taken back to Sun City, Johannesburg prison, where he was. And I previously indicated, Your Lordship, that the transfer of accused number 3 from Johannesburg prison to Kgosi Mampuru, in particular, he'd been put in custody in maximum. It was in violation of Section 43 of the Correctional Services Act, 333 of 1998. He was taken forcefully by the police. And then, when we have to arrange the custody again, whereby this honorable court has indicated that there cannot be an order that made against the prison, but we are now realized that it will be necessary, Your Lordship, that this court made an order against the prison. If there is any other thing that prison will say, because normally they've got the common reason of saying is for the security purposes. And I wouldn't understand what is that is different from Johannesburg prison to Kgosi Mampuru, except that my client was brought to Kgosi Mampuru for the torturing. That's so far as I can submit, Your Lordship. Thank you.
Advocate Baloyi, do you want to say anything?
My Lord, from the state side, we'll have the 2 incidents investigated. That is as far as I can take the matter. I was made to understand that a formal letter was written by Advocate Teffo regarding the first incident here at court, was written by Advocate Teffo to the head of Pretoria Central Prison, bringing the incident to his attention. we will follow up once we get to those particulars. We'll follow up on that case. As far as the incident of this morning is concerned, we will equally have it investigated. As far as the request, my lord, that the accused be transferred from Kgosi Mampuru prison to Johannesburg prison, I think that issue has already been addressed. In fact, I've given a letter to my colleagues from correctional services indicating that for security purposes, it's not possible to allow the accused Mathre in particular to be held at any other detention center. But I can, and my lord, I'm not trying to trivialize the incident, but if this incident happened here at court, both of them, I don't see how or why should then the accused be removed from Kgosi Mampuru if the incidents happened, here at court. I think it is just a question of perhaps agreeing with the correctional services just to allow the consultations to take place here at court. That is as far as we can take them. My suggestion will be that the two incidents be investigated first, and depending on what the outcome of the investigation is, that perhaps the matter be revisited before the court. Thank you.
Advocate. Inshallah.
May I?
No.
I have no submissions, my lord.
Advocate Teffo.
Let's break the court, Your Lordship. I forgot to mention that the case has been opened, Your Lordship. Thank you. And just a slight of reply to my learned colleague, Advocate Valoy, is that the state is being disingenuous, Your Lordship, with the due respect. When we are contemplating application for the removal of accused number 3 from Kgosi Mampuru, it is not only entirely about the incident of the 12th. The incident of the 12th is one of the elements or one of the issues. There has been issues before. So it's more of the accused number 3's safety. Hence, I'm saying it will be disingenuous of the state to say accused number 3, there is no way where he can be detained. Only Kgosi Mampuru. And at Kgosi Mampuru at the maximum, where he doesn't even belong. When he was taken from Johannesburg prison, Your Lordship, the accused is serving a sentence for the matter that happened within the jurisdiction of Johannesburg Johannesburg prison. So he was unlawful. And I can even bring further in aggravation to say, actually, he was kidnapped. As this, which was done, was in violation of his constitutional right. So that is our submission. So if we realize that if there cannot be an order from this honorable court, what has been happening will continue to happen. Because previously it was our agreement that accused number 3 should be kept at New Lock.
Who agreed?
With the colleague. I related it before the court here. And then when I engaged...
No. Just mention whom you agreed with.
No, I say, Your Lordship, I've submitted. Then later the court said, talk to Council of the State, for which is what I did.
Yeah, initially you used the word agreed. That's why I was interested. So you are saying you made submissions.
It may be a slipper of the tongue, Your Lordship, which is not the fault of my mind. So I have agreed with the Council of the State, whereby he even called the investigating officers that accused number 3 be detained at New Lock because at where he was, there is no even line of communication. For 3 months, he never communicated with his wife at where he was. And then, surprisingly, he was taken.
Advocate Teffo, I gave you latitude to speak, even at length, about this. But you have to remember that the proceedings today are not about who is kept at which prison. I will speak to that shortly. But I don't think we should invest all our time to that.
Yes, please,
there is I wouldn't say it's completely irrelevant, but there is a measure of irrelevance to some of the things you are saying.
We are amenable.
The first thing is that as lawyers, we all know, I think the four of us, myself, Advocate Baloyi, Advocate Teffo, Advocate Nshololo, we are all aware that, and I would say even the watching brief, we are all aware that in determining issues in court, one of the features should be a consideration of the natural rules of justice, one of which dictates that one has to listen to all sides, so that I cannot just hear Advocate Teffo and come up with an order against whoever is affected by that order, because that would not be a proper way of arriving at a decision or even deciding to make any order. Allegations of abuse or assault of prisoners or even whoever have to be viewed seriously. I'm going to request Advocate Baloyi, the communication you are making with the prison authorities has to be in writing, and we should demand that there be responses to those communications. And like I said before, it would not be my place to start determining what is safe, because I don't have skills in that field. I don't know what features. I don't know anything about prisons beyond being in prison for one reason, visiting a prison, or for any other reason whatsoever myself. I don't know beyond the strange language I hear in prisons where people are called father and mother. I don't know anything beyond that. So it will be not proper for me to start issuing out orders against prisons or prison authorities, except to say to Advocate Baloyi, he has to communicate that the abuse and ill treatment of inmates for whatever reason is heavily frowned upon by courts. And I don't want to be denialist about it. I know that torture happens. I know that assault happens in prison. I know that it is correctly alleged. I also know that sometimes it is incorrectly alleged. But when we hear those words, as us here, we open our ears and we pay attention. So Advocate Baloyi, make those communications in writing and do indicate that we need to get answers. Regarding these cases of assault, the cases of assault are not before me. It would be very, very inappropriate for me to start pronouncing around issues of assault where I didn't try that matter and hear everything about it, beyond what I've told Advocate Baloyi. So where Advocate Teffo, you want me to make a specific order, you had my answers. I cannot just go and make orders. It would be equally inappropriate if by the time you reach home today, you hear that that judge remained and made an order for you to arrive here at 7 without listening at you as to whether it is possible. Because you will immediately say, why was I not engaged, so that the judge can hear whether I can be able to comply with such an order. So I will leave it at that. And I will move that we go straight into this case. We have spent a long time trying to get into this case. May we get into this case.
Please, the court, Your Lordship.
And there we have it, Mzansi. Matters of assault are not tried before me. Judge MAUMELA could not make a ruling or an order with regards to the abuse or the torture that accused number 3 was alleging to have been happening to him, not just in the court cells, but also over there in the prison at KGOSI Mampuru, where his attorney, where his advocate, Advocate Teffo, is alleging that the torture even happens over there. It is illegal for him to even be at KGOSI Mampuru maximum CMAX. He should be returned where they got him, at the Johannesburg prison. This has been left in Baloyi's hands. Now, we know Baloyi is a very, very, very good state employee, okay? He will not come back to the court and publicly declare that, oh my God, accused number 3 is definitely being tortured, and this is the prison warden who threatened and assaulted accused number 3, and Baloyi doesn't do that. Baloyi represents the state well, okay? He wants the state to look very well oiled and well polished. He's not going to come back. Why do I say this? Because in present day court under Judge Rata, what did Baloyi do when he had to investigate accused number 3's water conditions, showering conditions? Why is he in CMAX, solitary confinement? He held that in a private conversation, okay, outside the court, and didn't come back to announce to us what the resolution was. As I speak right now, we still don't know. Has accused number 3 been showering? Does he now have access to hot water? And is he out of solitary confinement? We don't know. Nobody came back to tell us. But I digress. Back to Baloyi in back to the torture that is being reported. It is absolutely devastating to hear that. You could tell that even his lawyer, one thing about TEFFO, okay, he wears his feelings on his sleeve and he represents his clients to the max. But I want to remind you, in the previous video, episode 1, TEFFO was complaining about wasting of time and that his clients, we need to get to the root of this and start the Senzo trial so that they can give their plea. Who's wasting time today? Not that I'm saying him bringing up the torture incident is a waste of time. No, it is how he dragged the story. Even though at the end of it all, we now know that accused number 3 was being tortured, but was this the appropriate place to bring this? He has already done an application and. So let me know in the comment section your thoughts down below. Do you think that accused number 3 is still being tortured in present day? Why are the prison wardens so abusive or bullies, as Advocate TEFFO alleges? Now, while we're on the conversation or on the topic, now that they have a brand new Minister of Correctional Services, okay, do you think that torture is going to improve, be eradicated, or it's just about to get worse? Let me know in the comment section down below. I look forward to seeing your responses. And it just dawned on me. Advocate TEFFO was held in prison before a trial at KGOSI Mampuru as well. Now, I'm just thinking, is this the moment that Advocate TEFFO began to have a target on his back? Was this the beginning of his downfall? As we know, in present day, he is sitting in prison or jail somewhere. He is somewhere, but he is not home with his wife and children. Because he reported a warden who had no business abusing accused number 3? Why was reporting this the beginning? I think it is. I definitely think it is. But let me know in the comment section if you think I'm wrong. I think this is where it all started. I think this is where the goose laid the golden egg. Or should I say in this case, the rotten egg. Oh my goodness. This is devastating. And that is it from me today, Mzansi, episode 2. The good, the bad, the ugly. Let me know your thoughts down below. And if you have watched this video up to now, please remember, oh my goodness, to like the video. I've been so bad about asking for likes, but please like the video. It is absolutely free. If you've watched the video until now, I absolutely love it and I thank you so much. Please remember to drop me a comment in the comment section. Say a hello. Drop a soccer emoji so I know you made it to this point in the video. Thank you so much for watching. Absolutely love it when you do. Please remember to subscribe if you're watching from outside the club. What are you waiting for? Subscribe. It is absolutely free. Okay. Thanks so much. I'll catch you on my next upload.